my girls with me.
Out towards Chloe Rolly, wonderful step from the Scotland international, gliding away, running away, sprinting away, stunning score!
Lewis on the wraparound. This might work out for Thompson. They're going to put a little bit more on it, and then they're over.
Large on the ball, lovely flighted pass, Tatiana Hurd with a straight line, streaking towards the try line in the opening minute. She spills away, dives over the line, wonderful fly from Tatiana Hurd.
Megan Gunner puts the afterburners on. Shot in Harris. 2-on-1 is Lydia Thompson. Oh no, you're not going to catch Lydia Thompson from there. Scott. Oh, it's intercepted by Emily Scarrett. They won't catch Emily Scarrett from there. The long legs just eating up the ground. Oh, Chloe Rowley's making her way back, but she won't catch her. Emily Scarrett has been on fire.
Carson again, she's having an absolute stormer of a second half. The Canadian international still going, gets the offload out. Lottie Clark bursts away from the tackles, gives it off. Carson again, looks on the outside, Packer for the hat-trick. What a score from Saracens. What a comeback.
Someone ride with me. Oh my girls with me. Ride with me.
Turnover by Malloy. And McDonald sets off. Claudia McDonald. Mack is back and in fine style. Oh, it's a fine strike. Marston controlling brilliantly. Now Bristol Pack going forward. It's a penalty try. Oh, now there's a gap. Burgess.
Ride with me. Oh my girls with me.
Hello and a very, very warm welcome to the stadium here at Loughborough University, one of the leading sports universities not only in the country but in the world, for this round 4 Allianz Premier 15s game between Loughborough Lightning and Harlequins, two of the top dogs in the league over the last couple of years. My name's Johnny Hammond and I'm delighted to say that I'm joined today by Red Rose star World Cup winner Natasha Mo Hunt. Mo, you've just recovered from a dose of COVID. How was it for you?
Yeah, it was different, to be honest. I thought I was absolutely fine sailing through it with just a cold and then got a little bit worse, but I'm absolutely fine now, glad to be back out here, and to be honest, it's given me a new lease of life being back on such a great occasion and being able to commentate, so yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, that's a general feeling around both teams and certainly us in the broadcast world. Just a real privilege to be bringing you this live rugby as the country goes into lockdown at the moment. But you talked then about your COVID, and it put you out of that grandstand, that double grandstand, back-to-back grandstand winning game against Italy last weekend. How difficult was it to watch on?
It was really tough, I'm not going to lie. Quite often we stand here and say that it was all right and we're really happy for the team, but it was super hard to be ruled out, especially after working as hard as I could for 7 months through lockdown and everything else. But buzzing for the girls, what an achievement, and anyone that was part of that squad, just fantastic.
And off the back of the double Grand Slam winning side from the Red Roses, the inaugural Women's Six Nations Player of the Year was announced. And it came to a very, very familiar name to Red Roses fans, Emily Scarrett.
Through the gap now, finding Emily Scarrett, who will straighten. And again they combine in the middle to send Scarrett away. Clean up for England, Amber Reid. Oh, the lovely offload for Emily Scarrett. And Scarrett's trying to scream all the way to the line, and she will.
Scarrett decides to chip over the top and a little bit of space. It sits up nicely for Scarrett. That was beautifully done. Scarrett, cut out ball to Jess Breaching. Scarrett, so professional, so composed, and nails another two.
And here goes Scarrett.
And in those positions, we saw it in Poe, we've seen it in Palmer. Scarrett does what she does best.
Yet another award for Emily Scarrett's huge mantelpiece at home, but she deserves all the credit that she gets. Mo, let's have a look at today's game then. Set at the top. Two of the big dogs in this league coming together. Loughborough are timing their run really, really well last year. Lost Katie Day-McLean, Sarah Bond, a few other players. But it looks like a really, really strong squad with some real depth. I'm really liking what they're doing here. Haven't really hit their full straps yet, and yet they're coming to this game 3 from 3.
Yeah, they really are, and they're such an incredible team. They've got a massive influx of internationals coming back into the squad. So you've got 3 Scottish internationals starting. You've got obviously Emily Scarrett, who's making her first appearance this year for Loughborough Lightning. They're just unbelievable, and what I love about this side is how much they want to play. They look to come out the back. They've just got such soft hands in their forwards, and they're looking to move the ball all the time. And we do see the wingers get hands on ball, which is fantastic when you've got somebody with the strike power of Rona Lloyd out on the wing.
And Harlequins, more of the same from them, hugely dominant up front. They've been in trouble a couple of times so far this season. They look to their forward pack, the incredibly strong pack that they have, pretty much all international pack, but got some real firepower out wide as well. What have you made of them in the opening rounds?
Yeah, they've been brilliant. I mean, Wasps ran them really well, didn't they? That scoreline at half-time was super close, and then Harlequins just did what they knew that they can do. They just tucked it up their jumper. Their massive forward pack, as you mentioned, just came out, and they were absolutely firing. I think you've said the stat that most of their tries this season have come from the front 5. It's crazy that in a game like that with backs that you've got outside you, that all of those tries are being scored by the front 5, but it just showcases what a great talent this side is.
So an intriguing game ahead. Going to push you. Who's going to win?
Do you know what? I think we might see an upset here today. I do. I think we might see an upset. I think if Loughborough can get their game management spot on, I wouldn't be surprised to see them win, and I think it's going to be super tight.
So Loughborough to win.
Loughborough to win. I'm backing them.
You heard it here first. Mo Hunt's going for Loughborough. Well, it's not the only game. There's a full round of fixtures going around the country today. Of course, our game here between Loughborough Lightning and Harlequins. The other 2 o'clock kickoff is Giselle Mather's Wasps up against DMP Durham Sharks, who struggled in the opening couple of rounds but beginning to show a little bit more in the last round. And 2:30 kickoffs for the other 3 games. Exeter against Worcester. Let's see if Worcester can bounce back. Your side, Gloucester Hartbury up against Saracens, and Sale Sharks up against Bristol Bears. So a full package for you today on the Allianz Premier 15s. But of course, during this season, during the COVID situation, we've got some law variations which has enabled you guys to get back out onto the park. Mo, you've been playing in some of these games. For those who've been living in a cave and not been watching some of the rugby of late, what are those law variations?
So what we're seeing, the main changes are if you knock on or if there's a forward pass, instead of that being a reset for a scrum, you just get a free kick. Referees generally aren't allowing that to be played quickly, so that's real tactical battle coming into play. Equally, you can only drive now from each 22, so you can't join the moor if you're set further back. So if you're 10 metres initially back from the moor, from the line out, you can't then join it later. So real tactical battle from that as well, and the game is only 35 minutes each half, so it really is playing a massive part in these new changes.
Yeah, and individual water bottles and social distancing whenever we can. So look out for those slight variations in today's game. A little bit earlier on, I caught up with both of the head coaches, Jared Mullen from Harlequins, but first it's Rhys Edwards from Loughborough Lightning. Rhys, absolutely fabulous day, unbelievable surface here. I understand it's the first time you've played here. It seems like a really, really big day. Is that the mood in the camp?
Yeah, I mean, it's a great opportunity, isn't it? I mean, the first time I've been on the stadium, it's a great opportunity for our players to experience this. It's something that we've had on campus for a while, but not had the opportunity to play. So, that along with who we're playing against, Quinn's always one of the big games of the season. So it's setting itself up nicely with the weather like this to have a great game.
Well, let's focus on you first. You and I spoke in the week, and you said probably haven't got out of second or third gear at the moment. What do you need to get right today to get that W?
Yeah, that's a compliment, I think, to ourselves. I think we've had a great pre-season in terms of the process we've had to go through with COVID and the regs, and the transition we've had with some of our more younger players playing a lot this season already, and getting 3 wins out of 3 with that sort of cohort of players just shows where we are, as a group of players, but also as a squad. And we're welcoming back some of our senior players now from international duty, and they've had a great run recently, obviously with the Grand Slam. So the ingredients are there for us to have a really good good competitive season. We know there's going to be some ups and downs in terms of availability with it being a World Cup year, but we're really excited about that. That's why we're a pathway here at Loughborough in terms of bringing the next generation through, and it's great to see those guys out getting opportunities and actually doing really well. So I think because of that's my point around Gear 2. We've snuck some wins in some difficult games. Bristol away hasn't particularly been a great place for us, but I'm really pleased with how we managed that. And now we're looking into the next game with Quins, and it's we always know that's going to be a difficult game up front, and we know the challenge there. But we're also confident that if we get parity, then we can certainly beat them like we did 2 years ago. Pretty well. So we're pretty excited about the opportunity.
And obviously, Gerard used to be here at Loughborough. How nice would it be to get one over your old mate?
Yeah, no, it's strange seeing him back, especially in different colours. But I'm really pleased for him. His opportunity to go and lead a programme like Quins it just shows a step in the direction that he's going as a coach. He's been great for us at Loughborough in terms of the men's programme and really made a mark in terms of how we play. So we don't want him to do too well today, obviously. But no, I'm really pleased for him, and it's just sets itself up for a great game. And I wish him all the best.
Great stuff. Thanks very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Go well. Gerard used to be in the purple of Loughborough, now in the quarters of Harlequins. Did you go into the right change room when you arrived here today?
Yeah, no, a few of my mates texted that to make sure I went the right way. But no, it's nice. It's nice being back. A little weird, to be honest, but good to see some familiar faces.
And great to be out here at the stadium on what is a perfect day for rugby.
Yeah, no, good. Got some good memories here. We had some big games over the years. A fantastic surface and a beautiful day, so it should make for a quality game.
We made a fantastic start to your time at Harlequins. 4 from 4. You've now got the injection of Grand Slam winners and buoyant Scotland players coming. How much of a lift have they given you in the last week or so?
Yeah, no, they've been obviously fantastic for them, and congratulations on the Grand Slam, and also Jade and Chloe in Scotland camp are getting a great win, or a draw against France, and obviously the Irish girls as well. No, they've been great. The energy in training has been excellent this week. Everyone is, I think, first of all, just grateful to still be playing rugby, and want to just maximise that opportunity to go out and enjoy it today and play. So
if you are to get a W today against a tough Loughborough side, what do you need to get right? What specific things?
I think obviously Loughborough got a fantastic squad, a great set of backs. In particular Emily Scarrett at 13, and they got some good kind of pace out wide. So we'll have to get our defence right to not allow those players too much time on the ball. That'll kind of be what we're focusing on.
It seems like today's a bit of a yardstick for kind of both of you. It seems like a really big game between two of the big top dogs. Is that the sense you're getting in the change room right now as well?
Yeah, for sure. I think we're expecting our toughest test so far. We know we will have to up our game from previous weeks to kind of get across the line today, and that's what we're aiming to do. We're very focused on our own processes, both sides of the ball, and we've set some clear targets that we're hoping to hit today.
Go well today, Joe.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, let's take you through the runners and riders for today's game. There's Loughborough Lightning. The big news coming out of the university side is the return of Emily Scarrett, the newly crowned inaugural Six Nations Player of the tournament. Outside her, Rona Lloyd as well, who scored a hatful of tries for club and country in the last couple of seasons. Up front, seasoned internationals Rachel Malcolm, and two young bucks as well in the Red Roses camp, Taisha Harper and Amelia Harper as well. For Harlequins, well, 7 back-to-back Grand Slam winners in there, and 2 of the Scotland players that got those heroics against France as well, in Chloe Rowley and Jade Conkle at number 8. Leanne Riley, first appearance of the season, and Alex Eddy on their bench, her first appearance since 2018. Just confirmation there of the replacements. There is the Harlequins player Alex Eddy, and on that Loughborough bench, some real firepower to come off that bench as well. Lizzie Gordon just freshly from Wasps. Now, a minute's silence being Remembrance Weekend as well. Remembrance weekend, a moment of reflection for Rachel Burford and her Harlequins side. Of course, both these sides 3 from 3 coming into this game, and it has a feeling, doesn't it, Natasha Mohan, of a real yardstick game in this season, a sort of marker between two of the teams you suspect will be fighting it out come the end of the season.
Yeah, definitely. There's a real air of anticipation around the ground at the minute. Obviously, no crowds are in, it's just the support staff, but you can really feel the intensity building as we lead through to kick-off.
Nick Wood is the referee, former Gloucester loosehead, and he signals us to get underway through Helena Rowland, fresh from winning her first cap for the Red Roses over in Parma, and then Sarah Beckett, who was playing number 8 that day. And immediately Harlequins doing what Harlequins do, using those big forwards.
Tackle, move tacklers.
England teammates there meeting. Abby Ward, of course, now, not Abby Scott. I've changed from Tyrrells to Allianz, but I'm finding it slightly more difficult to go from Scott to Ward.
Yeah, that one is tricky, especially because she likes us to call her Wardy now instead of Scotty, so that one's even harder.
Congratulations to her and to Dave Ward, former Harlequin hooker, of course. Here's Shauna Brown.
Let's have a clear release, please.
Leanne Riley, good to see her back and firing. Burford. Just a little neat step just over that halfway line. Good continuity here from Harlequins, just keeping that ball alive. There's Conkle and Scott. Breach, back to Scott, trying to use the footwork. Really bright start here from Harlequins. Lovely tip on from the Scotland number 8, Jade Conkle.
Well done, one.
Cornborough.
Tackle release first.
Emily Scarrett, it's been her 3rd or 4th tackle so far.
Hold.
She's horizontal before the game, that is her way, isn't it? So relaxed.
It is, but she does love fronting up in the contact. Clearly something that Harlequins have looked at. They keep coming back to short side instead of playing the same way. So obviously something that they've looked at in pre-match.
Fee Fletcher, one of those players whose performance hardly ever dips.
Off your own player's foot.
And Riley's had to go in there. Locke Davis is putting pressure on her.
There's no tackle.
Red Rose teammate, and Locke Davis gets the penalty.
Holding.
Just a little bit scrappy right at the end there, but Harlequins will be very, very pleased. That's just over 2 minutes, constantly with possession and making some headway as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They carried really well initially off that first kick-off, didn't they? It was Sarah Beckett. We know what she can do ball in hand, and she absolutely bumped Georgia Bradley, which is a very difficult task to do. Georgia Bradley is a fantastic player, but great continuity, as you say, and I think Skaz will have enjoyed that she's not had to keep sprinting from side to side because they kept coming and reloading that short side. So interesting to see how that one pans out.
Loughborough, you in or out?
First line out of the day then. Bathed in sunlight, hardly a breath of wind. So there's nobody in the crowd. No, but there's 2 people up on the hill on the bench, about half a mile away.
Do anything, won't you, for a spot of live rugby at the minute?
Not now, Quiz. Off your feet.
They're outside of the stadium, so it's all legit. They're socially distanced.
Tackle.
Distance on the field, though. This is tough and physical as we expected. Roland. The yards of Anna Richmond. Scored a try against Sale earlier in the campaign. There's Helena Rowland, who had a little cameo, didn't she, over in Parma, and everything went her way, but she was trying stuff. And the young lady that she is, just 21 years of age, could admire the confidence.
She really was. There was a left-footed little grubber through right by the try line out in Italy at the weekend, but she's just a fantastic baller. Her acceleration off the mark, her footwork is second to none, and hopefully we'll see more of that in this game.
35-minute halves, of course. Taisha Harper, another one of those in the Red Roses ranks. Helen Nelson using her hands there, but of course that unbelievable conversion against France to get Scotland that draw.
Tackle move!
One of Scotland's best
No,
results
let her move, please. Don't
in
play
the
it,
last
please.
decade.
Well done.
Rachel Malcolm's involved that day as well.
Not now,
She's in the
14,
back
let go,
row for
please.
Loughborough.
She's on the wrong side.
All being watched by the England head coach, Simon Middleton.
Never on the ball.
Just down from us here in the stand. Very fetching in his mask, his blue mask.
Got advances for a knock on. That's forward, we're going to come back. There was
She's
a knock on
human.
here.
Emily Scarrett is human, everyone.
Heard it
She
here
made a
first.
mistake. Honestly, note that down.
That's
Emily
mine,
Scarrett
yours.
made a mistake. Put that on Sky News.
Lovely approach play though, wasn't it?
Forward
And
off green too.
good decision from Leanne Riley there to come flying out of the line, because I think it was a 4-on-2 if that ball had gone to hand. I don't know if Emily Scarrett needs to throw that missed pass. If that just goes through the hands, they check the defenders and then you're screaming down the touchline. But well read by Leanne Riley to fly out there.
Yeah, she's underneath that kick as well. And Scott goes down to the 10-metre line. Sarah Beckett has
Clearly
moved
changed
her
line.
body position
Taking out the kicker. I guess you want the option
up
here where
against
the ball
Daphne
landed.
Brown.
Oh, I think that's a bit of a harsh call. For me, they didn't move into the kicker as Abby Brown's put this ball up. They've just stood their ground. Like, Beckett's within her right to do that for me. But good return for Loughborough Lightning. They get a kick into the corner now. Probably see a drive coming in if Helena Rowland can get it into the 22.
It's one of those that always looks far worse, doesn't it, on the field?
Yes. Clearly changed
I think Abby Brown's done well to stay on her knees for a beat longer than she probably needed to as well, just to make sure the referee's well aware of what's happened.
No, you've got your commentary head on here. No teammates for X amount of years. Nobody's safe.
Ball! Advantage.
Oh, it's just spilt out and it's knocked on initially.
Early on
And
back
then by
lifter.
Harlequins, but it's a full penalty. Signals Nick
Early
Wood.
through the line, taking out lifter.
I think that was for taking the lifters early.
Number 5.
Harlequins just need to wait a beat, probably that anticipation that we were talking about pre-kick-off. Just a little bit too excited to get in and defend them all, and now they've got an even better opportunity to drive this over. We know how devastating this Loughborough drive can be.
Timing, please,
Mark
Quinn.
Davis, it's an area of her game, the line-out throwing, that early in her career, it's in a while, just used to creak. I remember against Italy a few years ago, but it's something she's worked on really well. And look at this drive from the Loughborough pack, taking on Harlequins right at their strong point. It's crabbing in field. It's
Use it now.
20
Use
metres
it
in
now,
field
Mike.
now. Ward has got herself around the side there, and they've held it in, Harlequins. And it would normally be a scrum, of course, but it's a free kick, and Leanne Riley, as is her way, takes that ball quickly. It's got
One forward,
just
second one
caught
is
up.
forwards.
Trying to give that pass to Rachel Burford, and now free kick goes the other way.
That is an outstanding defensive set from Harlequins. Quite often you don't see people thrown in the air in the 22 because you're waiting to defend that more. They put up 2 pods and they still manage to reset and drive Loughborough backwards. Fantastic defence from them.
Oh my word, Helena Rowland has just taken the free kick and said we'll have 3 points, and taken the drop goal.
I think she missed it. I think it came to the right hand side of the posts.
She certainly went for the drop goal, just missed on the right hand side, as you say, Mo. I like that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one before. That's Reece Edwards all over, isn't it? Real tactical gnaws with stuff like that.
Absolutely, certainly is. Going to make a point. Spoke to Gerard Mullen, the very impressive way he speaks, had her on the women's rugby pot, and we'll chat with him this week ahead of this game, talking about the defence, getting their tackle more accurate. He's not been happy with that in the first 3 rounds. Just intensifying that defensive effort.
Okay, you lost it. Okay, then you put
see
your
it
hands
so
back
far
on
when
it.
Loughborough have had the
Ruck
ball.
forward.
Yeah, you can. There's a real intensity about what they're doing. The classic, somebody chops somebody else in, straight down onto the ball. Loughborough seem to be getting the best of the breakdown at the minute though. A few penalties going their way. I'm sure Harlequins will be looking to sort that out.
Yeah, so to Gerard, to be more resilient, the quality of the tackle.
Line out, he's inside the 22.
Process, but he understands he's building, bedding
Mark,
in
he's
process.
inside the 22.
Life post, Gary Street, isn't it, at Harlequins? But come back to his old stomping ground here at Loughborough, where he was in charge of the men's programme for many a year. That looked flat for Loughborough. They've been allowed to get away with it. Warris. He's had an impressive start to the season, very good against the Gloucester Hartbury side.
Raise your game to play the best, isn't it? No, I'm joking. She's been amazing. It's so great to see her back playing after 2 years out. She's just really in form at the moment, and as you said, had a fantastic game, her and Helena Rowland against us 2 weeks ago. So great to see her back out there and leading the way.
11 on her feet, holding.
Yes, Breach winning the penalty for Harlequins up against Ronan Lloyd.
You want this to work?
Well, you and I spoke yesterday, didn't we, at length about this game. Both really excited because there is just quality. We were saying, oh, what about the head-to-heads? And we virtually went through every single position to say that's an unbelievable head-to-head, that's an unbelievable head-to-head. And there was one of them, wasn't it? The wingers, Jess Breach against Ronan Lloyd.
Yeah, both in fine form for country. Ronan Lloyd's unfortunately been out for a few weeks with an ankle injury, so it's amazing to see her back on the pitch. And that is definitely one of the head-to-heads I'm looking forward to seeing unfold, especially as this game loosens up a little bit.
Yeah, you just get the sense in this opening 10-11 minutes, both sides just feeling each other out at the moment. Concord, lovely line-out take from Ward. Fabulous throw from Amy Cockayne. Amy Cockayne against Lark Davis for the England #2 shot. There's another head-to-head for you. Jordan Brown against Harper.
You roll on the floor, okay.
In basketball parlance, that's travelling.
Roll, and 2's on her feet.
It is, and you can see this breakdown is really starting to frustrate these Harlequins players at the moment. Quite a few arms going up in the air as soon as these penalties are called. There she is.
Captain Fantastic.
I think she's on WhatsApp on her laptop. I'm not sure that's acceptable, Sunty.
See, Candy Crush actually. Well, no, she was out there in Parma lifting the trophy. People have made comments about John Terry, but I'm not hearing any of it.
We were trying to get her to put the full kit on, but she was having none of it.
Here's Leanne Riley. Again, another player back from a little time out of the game. Tenacious as ever, running after that. Pushing the opposite number over. Ronan Lloyd up against Cal.
Not on the ball, clearly.
Opposite wing.
Cowell's done well there as well, because you don't want to give Ronan Lloyd any kind of opportunity to open up. She is rapid.
She did well, didn't she? Charged down. Cockayne. Jess Breach there, she just knocked it on in the contact though. And from a period where Harlequins seem to be under pressure, giving away penalties, they've broken out the quick thinking, the quick actions of Leanne Riley. And they're down in the Loughborough 22 now.
Yeah, it's just a missed line out, wasn't it? And brilliant decision making from Leanne again to kick that in behind, because everyone's up flat expecting to be attacking, so nobody's home. Great chase, and Helena Rowland just needs to take a step there. She doesn't need to put herself under so much pressure trying to clear her lines. Just a little bit too flat for the line, allowing Abby Ward that easy run in and a good charge down.
Still 0-0 here at the stadium at Loughborough University. Lightning against Harlequins. That's a lightning break from Leanne Riley. Good tackle. Helena Rowland. Shauna Brown. That's equally impressive pick up as well from the tight head. Cockayne just gets it mixed up. Beckett goes down. She'll need
Knock on
support now.
advantage.
Arrives in the form of
Knock on the
Jess
tackle.
Breach.
Free kick advantage. Good
Free
clear,
kick
let go.
advantage. Another way these little variances are going to play is the referees playing the advantage,
It's an advantage
allowing
over for
play
the
to
knock-on.
continue. So you don't have to stop. Nani Tuima against
Clear
Emily
tackle,
Scout.
please.
There's another head-to-head for you.
Oh.
So many micro battles within the battle. Fletcher, lovely out, was just on the shoulder of Emily Scott.
They've still got penalty advantage.
What a tackle from Helen Nelson there.
Chipped it through, and Rona Lloyd, who's wearing 14 but playing out in that left wing opposite
13.
Heather Cow.
Offside, 13-14.
Here you see this
13,
line out
14
again.
offside.
Just lovely play again by Leanne Riley.
That's it.
What we're seeing is the nines going off the back, but forwards need to pick up that inside. Leanne Riley's just held a beat
10,
on
please,
that
hang on.
ball,
Let's get 10 left.
spotted the space and darted through. Good play.
She saw Wallace just go too early, didn't she? Really great heads-up rugby from Leanne Riley, and the reaction of the players around her was impressive too. Some quality rugby, man.
Yeah, it's good so far, isn't it? Hopefully it lasts.
For
Again,
Neil
that
Miller, it's
tackle as well by Helen Nelson. We thought they were in. Fee Fletcher, fantastic line, lovely pass by Scotty.
Here come Harlequins though. Concrop, the Scotland hero, has got herself over. First try of the day to the away side, Harlequins. You just felt it was coming, they just got their tails up. They got that penalty from Loughborough being offside, and from that kind of range, this juggernaut of a Harlequins pack is very, very difficult to stop.
Yeah, it's a lovely setup, isn't it? Good initial pressure coming through from Loughborough, but great decision from Jade Concord to break when she did. And then a fantastic finish. It's actually Shauna Brown that's got the try down there. Lovely quick
Indeed.
thinking from her.
Yeah, it was Concord with that initial burst, and then Shauna Brown coming around the side. Right on the far side from us here in the stand. Emily Scott. Flags are raised.
Brief break.
Didn't have a best day from the tee. Emily's got last time out. She was
Straight
kicking against DMP. 3 from 8, but that's a fine strike. Nice confidence build up. Let's have it again. Came with the line out throw into Ward.
You can just see that initial drive from Loughborough's coming in at the angle. Normally what we see is try and drive it back towards the touchline so you don't go infield towards the post. But it was a brilliant decision from Jade Concord to break off the back when she did. The pressure was coming through. All of the Loughborough forwards are interested in that more defence, and then she spotted the space, so fantastic play by her.
And then Shauna Brown.
Doing what she does.
Well, I'm just going to say I'm not entirely sure what would stop her from that kind of range. The eclectic man. He's been a firefighter. Been a boxer, Hammer Brown. She used to be known.
Hammer Brown.
Yeah, Hammer Brown. Commercial deep sea diver. Competed in the Highland Games and England and GB athletics and discus, shot put and hammer, silver at the Commonwealth. And that's what's impressed Simon Middleton, the England head coach, about Shauna Brown. Just her strength, but what a personality to have around the squad.
He didn't realise the camera was on him. I think he could just hear his name be mentioned. But at least we got him with a smile on his face, so that's nice to see.
Yes, it's a rarity. No, he loves the camera, does Simon.
Skip, please.
Right, sorry.
Again, hit the end, dog it back in.
There we are, just the little water break there after the try's been scored. Sorry, did Shauna Brown just service, didn't we? Thought it was Jade Concord. Shauna Brown from that short range. And Harlequins absorbed that. I mean, they had that opening 2 minutes, didn't they? They were really, really impressive for the first couple of minutes. And then Loughborough played really, really well. And then Roland, almost with a drop kick. And Harlequins burst out, and it's 7-0.
So difficult to come back from when you get in behind the defensive line, which is what Harlequins did 2 or 3 times in that passage of play. We'll see what Loughborough's answer is.
Yeah, and Riley started really brightly fizzing about the place. Just as I say that, there's a certainly loose pass, but it's picked up by Rachel Burford, and look, 3 or 4 players to bring down the 84 Kappa. Here's the try score. Courtney Holtcat, one of the Canadians that's come into this Loughborough Lightning squad. They've been in lockdown more than they've been in training, apparently, her and Sarah Sabova. They will bring physicality and athleticism to this Loughborough pack. Amelia Harper just smashed off the ball there. Young open side, capped earlier in the year in the
release 2, thank you.
First part, should we say, of the Six Nations. Cornborough. What an offload that is. Right in the tight spaces, and who's on the shoulder for Fletcher? Concord. Getting their rhythm now, Harlequins, aren't they?
They really are, and for me, Loughborough were defending it so well. What an offload, as I say that. Loughborough defending it so well, and they're just trying to target the ball at the minute, which means that Harlequins are able to get the leg drive through the contact.
Tuima, onto Cow.
Can't quick, no. It's not the mark. You can't go quick if you ask them. High tackle.
Offload central.
That was a lovely bit of play by Shauna Brown, wasn't it? She does practice those an awful lot to get them into her game, but when they come off, they look special, don't they?
And Beckett was on the shoulder on that tight line, going against the grain. And that was backed up from the Cornborough offload as well to Fletcher.
Yeah, they're starting to enjoy themselves, aren't they? Look, spots the space. It's not high risk. She knows where she's coming from. She's got the ball in control, tucked nice and tight against her forearm.
Here's the line out then. Abby Ward calling it to herself, and here comes the juggernaut again, the Harlequins pack. It's gone down now though. Shauna Brown again, looking for her second. Harlequin scrum.
And we actually get to see a scrum, which will be great. But lovely defensive work there.
Okay, let's let Quinn set first.
I think it's Harper underneath. Good friends off the field, those two, so that'll be a good talking point afterwards.
Okay, crouch Quins. Yes, Loughborough, let's
Two
go.
of England's props there.
Crouch!
I don't anticipate this coming out to the backs.
Set!
It does. 8-9 blindside.
And come this side, John.
You'd fancy that, wouldn't you, Mo?
I would fancy that, especially with that amount of
Same process,
space.
please.
Especially because they've left just Rona Lloyd out there on her own.
Yep.
But for me, you can see that the Harlequins' backs are actually stacked all to the left-hand side. So unless Cowell swings late into that space, it's leaving Conkle and Leanne Riley on their own. And to be honest, I reckon I'd back them from there anyway.
Bind!
Tasha Harper,
Set!
Shauna Brown, John Anker, their respective scrums here.
Oh, big moment in the match that is. And this is why it's so disappointing that we don't see more scrums, because it is such a battle.
Pulling under.
especially if you have the upper hand. When you're in the ref's head that you've got the dominance, it's really hard to change that around throughout a game.
On the arm, and Nick Wood would know. 4,787 games for Gloucester in the front row. Nick Wood played. No, he played for many, many years. Real club servant of the Cherry Whites.
Play away, thank you.
Got the ball back now though. Cow spreading those legs. Oh, she's opening up. Breach. Just breaching up against Abby Brown. The England Sevens captain is up to it. Burford. Just waiting on this short side. Will she get the ball now? Those quick hands that she's so famed for. Rolling. She's out to touch.
Good defensive set, wasn't it, by Loughborough on the line, but what a lovely line by Heather Cowell. Good chop tackle from Helena Rowland, and then we see Abby Brown, good tackle. She's just gone a little bit too high around the shoulder. I'm really enjoying Emily Scott at the minute. I think that she's really pulling the strings for this Harlequins team. She's taking the ball to the line.
Okay, just have a word, please. Yeah.
She's pulling people on really nicely.
Happy it's there or a bit further out?
She did go out to touch.
Oh, yeah. It's up here anyway. It's up here.
Sorry, Rolly. As you say, just
High tackle.
seatbelty, wasn't it?
No.
You see them giving all the time now. It's just anything up and around the shoulder you just can't do. Got to keep it lower, especially in the high pressure situations. I think that's heightened by the referees. They're really looking for stuff like that.
Step please, lines the middle, thank you. Quinns, you can come up slightly.
Hold. Your analysis, mate. The captain or something.
More!
Lovely. Have you alongside. Here come Harlequins again, driving. And it is so often the same result when this Harlequins pack have a line out in the 22. They are so powerful. Have to see the replay to see who's at the bottom of that melee of bodies, but yeah, initial suspicion that it is Amy Cockayne.
Yeah, it's straight on the ball at the back after a brilliant throw. You can just see Abby Ward calling her troops, dropping her body height, driving them back, and then again they just spear off at the right time. Amy Cockayne knows her way to the try line as well. Brilliant finish. Loughborough have just got to stop giving away the penalties in and around the 22 because it's going to be a tough day at the office trying to stop this Harlequins drive.
We'll try the season for the Red Rose hooker. To go with ones against Exeter, Wass and DMP. So one in every round. Here's Emily Scott. Just missed that one. And her general play has been fantastic, Emily Scott. Just missed the conversion there, but Harlequins, powerful they are. The work of every forward. You look at Conkle there, just driving it in front, almost splitting the wedge in front.
Absolutely, just driving them through so that nobody can get anywhere near that ball. Lovely kick-off by Helena Rowland.
Net roll. Net roll.
Neck roll in there. That's why the penalty's been given. As you don't know, just a player trying to clear someone else out of the way around the head and neck area, just can't do it.
I love how casual Helena Rowland is when she kicks to the corner. She has a massive boot and it never looks like she's putting any effort into it. She just steps up, 1 second, bang, into the corner. And what a fantastic return that is, 7 metres out.
Pressure at line out time. That's all about
Knock
Abby
on the
Ward,
line out.
and in a normal game, he's scrum to
Archie, get
Loughborough,
10,
but of course,
please.
with the
Hang on.
your
Get 10.
variations in the Allianz
It's a
Premier
free kick for
15s,
knock on. We have to
that's a
start
free
10.
kick. So much pressure
Use the
though
line. Use the
against
line.
Loughborough. Just sharper at the moment, Harlequins, being allowed to be.
Tackle release.
The penalties that Loughborough are giving away, but just a little bit sharper.
Yeah, and a bit more intensity as well. Look at them coming off the line. Granted, they're only coming off the line the side the ball's being played. Like to see Loughborough have it set the other side as well, but just brilliant defence from them at the minute.
Bradley in that 8 shirt today. Saracen was 50-50 in the week, but looking at the long term, as we know that Loughborough and Reece Edwards, the director of rugby here, just likes to build through the season. They were doing it so brilliantly last season. Here's Scarrett. Can she do something? Remember that 40-50 metre effort when these two met last time out?
Tackle now, let go.
36-27 it was to Harlequins that day. That looks around the neck of Emily Scarrett. And Conkle, second one in a row as well, second one in a couple of minutes. Referee just asking his assistant referee to get a number. Rowland. Oh, lovely show and go from Rowland. She's got Nelson outside. It's Rona Lloyd. What a score that is.
Over.
From the Red Roses debutant. What a hand she had at it. And it's finished off in Scotland.
Lovely bit of play. We spoke about Helena Rowland, her footwork, her acceleration off the mark, and that is it in abundance. Absolutely fantastic play by her. She just held on again, went to throw the big pass, saw that the defensive line was flying, took the gap, and presence of mind to send that wide ball out. I actually had my hands on the head as this went across. I thought she could have just popped it to Helen Nelson on her shoulder, but she knows exactly where her housemate is going to be. Brilliant pass, brilliant finish.
That's what I love about it. Any youngsters watching the game, if we see that replay again of Helena Rowland, she makes the break, she then scans, says, right, well, I know I've got my options, I can probably hear Helen Nelson, so I know where she is, but I'm just going to scan in the periphery vision. There's Rona Lloyd, and that combination of playing together and, as you say, being housemates. Oh, what a score that is. And Loughborough right back in it. We'll talk about setting up the try rather than the conversion, shall we?
Yeah, absolutely. Here we see it again. It's just come out the back. Leanne Riley flying out the line, trying to put pressure on. And as you say, instead of continuing her acceleration through that line, what she's done is she's just slowed down, given herself time to make that decision. And what a great decision it is. Interesting for me, she's a conversion kicker today. We've obviously seen Helen Nelson slot a touchline conversion to draw against France. We've also got Emily Scarrett on the field, so that just shows you the confidence that they have in Helena Rowland at 10.
I can watch this all day long. Comes to her there. They just fly up too quickly. I mean, Leanne Riley just chasing too much. Fee Fletcher can't get to her. What a pass that is.
It is, and also the timing of the pass as well, because she waits until Chloe Rowley is sat right back on her heels before she pulls the trigger, so there's no recovery time for her, and we know how quick she is as well.
Good timing. Tackle move.
We're actually going to get Simon Middleton into our coverage at half-time to get his views. He would have been salivating at that from Helena Rowland, though. This high-quality rugby. Chloe Rowley
Hold set.
Taken down by Harper, Amelia Harper in the 7 shirt. Certainly getting the lion's share of the penalty count, aren't they, Loughborough?
One on her feet.
They really are. It's been great work at the breakdown for them. When they're intent at getting the ball carrier down on the floor quickly, their second man in is so effective. The Harlequins clearers need to come in with a bit more intensity for me, because their ball carriers are so intense, but it's that lack of intensity in their clear out that's allowing Loughborough to get hands on ball. It's really keeping them in the game.
good contest. It's a knock on. Nothing wrong with the contest.
They really are
last ball.
defending this line out well, aren't they? It's a good throw from Luck Davis. She's hitting it towards the back, but they clearly have done their homework.
Abby Ward has done her homework.
Abby Ward has done her homework.
Hours and
I
hours.
stand corrected.
Hours and hours, Nelson. Just a little too flat. Was Olivia Jones.
Sorry, I was just checking.
Seen her with the ball in hand too much. Just knocks that on. But I'm just going to make the point to you, Mo, that
use the line.
if you are going to contest that line out, with the law variations, unless you're actually going to get that ball, is it worth doing
Not
it?
now, Loughborough.
They often say, don't they, if you get one hand to it, you get two. But knocked it on a couple of times now in contesting, or is it just playing psychologically in the minds of Loughborough that Abby Ward is all over a line out?
100%. They've taken one cleanly. They've had two upsets as well in that area, and the Loughborough backs are just stood out there waiting to get some kind of ball in hand that's not in phase play. So they're defending it so well at the moment.
Initial person. Rachel Burford was good. Amy Cockayne-Howes were good. Sarah Beckett's involved. Emily Robinson. No Beth Dainton today. She's been playing well, but out injured at the moment. Katie Muir as well for Harlequins.
Out the way. 12.
A few people on their injury list.
You can have that one. Don't milk it.
A couple for
Don't milk it.
for Loughborough as well. Kath
That one was
O'Donnell
clear,
just
but
getting
don't
back
milk
to some running as well. Delika Menon coming back from a concussion. Of course, we've spoken about Sarah Hunt, and of course the teenager Moana Tallinn just picked up a bump in Parma.
Inside. There's yours.
Debut at 18 years of age.
Brilliant, isn't it?
Quins will take the line, hopefully.
She's an unbelievable talent as well. I absolutely
Use the line,
love being
please,
on the
Quins.
pitch with her. Fantastic player,
Mark is
good ball
inside, use the
carrier,
line, please.
knows the
Loughborough,
game
step
really
off.
well.
Thank you.
Who on earth do you pick in the second row if everyone's fully fit? Perhaps we can ask.
Zoe Allcroft.
Now Loughborough's turn to Nicolai now. It's Holtkamp, Canadian, and then Rowland. It's an unusual kicking style, but it's very effective, isn't it?
It really is. Good pressure coming through from Harlequins as well, because if she had time there, we probably would have seen that roll out past the halfway line. She has a ridiculous boot on her.
Good. Yeah.
It is proper nip and tuck, isn't
Good
it?
there,
At
Loughborough,
line out
stay
time,
please.
it's a real ding-dong battle as you would expect between these two. Come into the round top with a maximum 15 points, Harlequins, same as the Saracens, but with a better points difference, 141 playing at 111.
Backwards.
Of course, they did have that 103-0 win over DMP Durham Sharks in round one, so it is looking the table a little skew at the moment. Loughborough third with 14 points. Nip and tuck in the table as well before this one. Here's Burford. Any time out, getting some injuries sorted out.
No
Rachel
seven, no
Burford
seven.
just beginning to get back to some of her best. Shauna Brown.
First one. Hand and face.
Thought she
They've
caught
just
it, a
been
little
facing
juggling
it right.
there.
Hand
Nick
and
Wood
face.
says
Knock on.
knock on.
Not quick. Not quick. It's a knock on.
That was so quick I didn't even see it. Interesting for me that Loughborough decided to kick this. Give Harlequins a counter-attack
Hold,
opportunity when the clock's gone dead.
Now you're on.
It was a wobbly one from Jess Breach, wasn't it? But it's
Not quick.
played out for Harlequins. Nick Wood says you can't take it quickly.
That is time if you want it.
35 minutes half, of course. So they've got time. Corbra, nice hands from her. Conkle.
Tackle.
Cow. Rianne Riley fizzes it out to Ward, and Scott again
Backers
is
off
making them
Loughborough,
do half breaks in this first half. Half that Shauna Brown will end with another try. Well, she scored the first one from about 4 millimetres. That one, by the end of the day, will be from 80 metres.
Back
She loves doing that. Sometimes it frustrates me as a 9 because I just want to pass the ball, but she is so good at spotting that space. Seeing that no defenders are in behind, Wirus is in the line ready to sprint out and put some pressure on. Just a brilliant pick.
That is
And
unbelievable.
good acceleration away.
Sorry, Mo. Her 5th try of the season. That's now her 37th try in the Premiership. And what's this, her 51st appearance? Yeah, 50th against Exeter. I'd say that was a strike rate, wouldn't you? 37 and 51.
Brilliant.
Emily Scott, right in front of the uprights. She went, no mistake with that one. Adds the 2 points, and Harlequins finished that half with a real flourish. Shauna Brown with her 2nd try to add to Amy Cocaine's try. Rona Lloyd had scored one for Loughborough. But some real quality rugby throughout their first 35 minutes, Mo.
Yeah, we are being treated at the minute, aren't we? Some lovely interplay forwards and backs from both teams. Some good kicking, some good exits, and equally some very powerful ball carriers, especially from those Harlequins forwards at the moment.
So there is the half-time score. Right badges. 19-5 is the score. Here are the highlights of the first half. There was Harlequins who started the game really well, didn't they? And then Loughborough came back, and then Harlequins sort of jumped out of defence into attack. And Jade Conkle with the initial little surge, and then Shauna Brown.
Yeah, it's a brilliant spot by Shauna Brown. Too often we see players slowing this down to make sure that they're set, have somebody inside and outside to drive them over the line. But for me, if you go quickly here, generally you'll catch the defence on the back foot, and that is exactly what Shauna Brown's done. Taking a beat, just spotted the space and dived in. 30-centimetre finish, love it.
You're being generous, 30. This is the hold up on the line. We thought Shauna Brown had scored her 2nd in quick succession here, but Taisha Harper, you can see her there on the right hand side of that rock. Says no teammate from Red Roses there, you're not going over this time.
Just shows her strength, doesn't it, being able to get underneath, but equally for that little tussle as they go over the line, not allowing Shauna Brown to get any part of that ball on the ground.
And there's Heather Cow. A little move on this left-hand side. Jess Bridge, Amy Brown. Loughborough fullback, slightly high tackle. But it wasn't long before Harlequins were troubling the scorer again.
Yeah, another really good initial setup. The body positions are nice and low, super tight as a pack. And as we've seen so many times, Amy Cocaine, hands on the ball, driving towards the line, and manages to flop over. There you see Jade Conkle again, integral in that.
And then it was a turn of Loughborough with a super score. Helena Rowland, look at the step there and this pass.
Yeah, you just see ball in 2 hands initially, just moving the ball around, seeing if defenders will bite. Lovely step, great outside break, and as I said, just slowed down enough to give herself the option to either hit Nelson or send that ball out to Rona Lloyd on the wing, and it was a fantastic pass. I just love watching her play. So evasive, so aware of what's around her. Brilliant finish.
It was a fabulous score, and you think Loughborough right back into the game. That was, well, that made it 12-5 at the time. Yeah, we can take as many angles of this as we like. Very expertly done for a lady 21 years of age.
Age doesn't matter when you got the skill, does it?
I wouldn't know. Would not know. but then Harlequins finished the half doing what you said your England teammate does so well, Shauna Brown.
Yeah, she loves it, doesn't she? The amount of times I think that she's scored from either standing back up after being tackled, picking the ball up, or doing this is probably 21 out of those 37 tries that you mentioned, but brilliant finish from her.
Well, we're actually delighted to say that Simon Middleton, he's been watching this game, and it's been watching this game here, and why wouldn't you come here, Simon Middleton? It's superb first half. What have you made of that so far?
Yeah, I think it's panned out exactly as I thought it would be. It's, as you've described it, in terms of its Queen's juggernaut pack against some real flair of the Loughborough backs, and we've seen exactly that on show. I think anything where Quins have been able to dominate field position, set piece wise, Loughborough have been under massive pressure. But then we saw a bit of field position for Loughborough, and an amazing piece of play by Eleanor Rowland, and like you said, not just the line break itself, but the scanning and then the pass was absolutely sublime. And then, as Mo described, Shauna Brown doing exactly what Shauna Brown does, and I thought Quins front row been absolutely brilliant this first half, absolutely brilliant. And I think there's a critical moment on about 20 where Loughborough defended a line out that would have taken Quins two scores clear, 3 scores clear, and they did really well. But then just before half time, that's a killer blow. Is that? I'll take a bit of coming back from, I think.
Well, there's some veiled compliments about our commentary in there from Simon Middleton. So no, thank you very much for that. But no, just say Helena Rowland, I know she had a little cameo and got her debut out in Parma. Just how impressed have you been with her within camp?
Yeah, she's been fantastic. She's come back, as of all the girls who have come back in from the Sevens programme and joined us, to be fair. But she was an accomplished 15s player before she went there as a young player with Sarries, playing a very responsible role with Sarries, and she's come back and she's fitted in fantastically well. Really calm head on her, a great skill set, good decision making. Everything she's got's on show at the moment in terms of a great kicking game. Again, Mo mentioned she kicks the ball so effortlessly, but she kicks it a mile. And then her running game, she threatens the line. We saw it in Parma. She took the line on there, and it was a last ditch tackle, and it was great to get a debut out there. And yeah, she's definitely one for the future.
Well, slightly remiss. We haven't congratulated you, certainly on air. Back-to-back Grand Slams, incredible feat, 54-0 against the Italians. Well, I've actually been impressed with it. You can quite often psychologically, which that side of the game is, you play in a big game like that, and it's significant. First back-to-back Grand Slam since 2012. And then you come back to your club and you might just dip slightly, but I haven't seen that. Well, what do you make of actually where the players are mentally out on the field today? It's really impressive stuff. No dip at all, just picking up from where they left off in Parma.
Yeah, and I think that's testimony to the league, to the AP 15s league, and what it's about at the moment, and it'll only get stronger. I think the amount of pride that the players have in their clubs and in their performance for the clubs is immense, and it's everything that you want, because they bring it into camp when they join camp with England, and it drives the standard of training, and it drives the competition, and this game is absolute top draw. The defences are absolutely uncompromising, and the breakdown is fantastic. If anybody gets isolated on the ball, they're getting turned over immediately. The contact work from both sides has been first class, and it's just ultra competitive, isn't it? And as I say, and the other thing is, both teams are supremely well conditioned. Both Quins and Loughborough have got fantastic strength and conditioning departments and head of strength and conditioning, and you can see it on show. And there's a little bit like, well, who'll give first? And to be honest, you don't really know, and it may just be the physicality of Quins that brings them out on top. But I think if Loughborough can get the tempo of the game up, they'll certainly be able to sustain it. They've got to try and break Quins up a little bit, because if they go to a static game, they're going to really struggle because Quins are so strong in the set piece and you saw defensively so strong off the line once they're set. So I think tempo is the order of the day for Loughborough, and sort of set piece and strangling them to death is probably the Quins way, but both sides incredibly impressive and brilliantly coached.
Who's going to win?
From 1950 up, I'd say Quins, but you never say never. I've been to Loughborough a number of times, and they've been unbelievable how they've turned games round, but also how they've let points slip in games. You know, two fantastic games last year. Quins here again, and Sarri's here. You know, so anything could happen, and I think that's the beauty of it. I think you've got to say Quins from here because of the quality of both teams are playing and so uncompromising both defences are, it could well end up coming down to set piece, and Quins have just got the edge in that. And you know, Loughborough are missing some firepower today up front, and it might just show in the end.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. I'll let you go back to your hot chocolate or whatever double back-to-back Grand Slam winning coaches have a half-time. I don't know, perhaps a Lambrini or something. Thank you so much for your time. Really, really appreciate it. Really good to have you on board at half-time and get your thoughts. Many congratulations. Simon Middleton, the England head coach, joining us here on the RFU stream of this round 4 Allianz Premier 15 game between Loughborough Lightning and Harlequins. Harlequins at a half-time lead of 19 points to 5. And of course, the RFU have committed to doing one live game every single round of the Allianz Premier 15. So this is how it looks for the next few weeks. Saracens women against Wasps ladies next Saturday at 2:15. That'll be an intriguing game as well. And then Mo Hunt, who's alongside in commentary today on the 28th of November, Gloucester Hartbury women against Harlequins. Again, the top teams trying to take each other down as we move towards Christmas and the New Year. And then an All Northern affair on the 5th of December. DMP Durham Sharks against Sale Sharks. Battle of the Sharks. Who will win out? Up at the Northern Echo Arena. That one at 2 o'clock for you. And on Saturday the 12th of December, 3 o'clock, slightly later, at the Twickenham Stoop, Harlequins women against Saracens women. Of course, the last two sixth finals that we've had between those two clubs, so that will be absolutely fascinating. Really good to get Mids' thoughts at half-time, just backing up what we've been saying in commentary, which was always nice to hear. Had a couple of cracking tries already today, and there were a load of tries back in round 3. Here's a look back at them all. Action every round of this Allianz Premier 15s. The quality every single season goes up and up and up. Scores from around the ground. Then Wasps up already 40 points to 0 over DMP Durham Sharks. We've got to give DMP Durham Sharks, they'll have 3 years, of course. Everybody's in this league now for 3 years. Gloucester, we're just hearing, have gone up 5-0 against Saracens. Exeter Chiefs and Worcester yet to have a score there, and the same with Sale against Bristol. The only reason we know that is that Mo Hunt is on her phone. The Gloucester Hartbury captain checking out the scores from her team. 5-0 against the reigning champs.
buzzing. I'm absolutely gutted. Obviously, it's a pleasure to be here alongside you, but I am gutted I'm not there on the sideline with the girls. So to hear that is amazing news.
Absolutely. Yeah. TMP Derbyshire, very much a university side. Just saying, these sides will have 3 years in this league now, just to try and build.
That's what it means. That's what it means.
That's a great shot, isn't it?
I didn't realise. You told us that you weren't using that camera.
Yeah, they're sneaky, aren't they, directors here? They've got a little camera on us, and that is not nice for any of the viewers that might face the radio. But what a brilliant reaction from you, Mo. That's what it means to you when you're, 120 odd miles away. It still means that much to you. Look, talking to Simon Middleton there, giving his thoughts as to who might come through this one. We're now halfway through. How do Loughborough get back into it?
It's just all about the territory, and they need to retain possession when they have those positions as well. So we talked about it a few times, but Harlequins keep pipping them at the line out. They're not getting any clean ball there. This Loughborough backline is so strong. They have big ball carriers in Emily Scarrett and Helen Nelson. They've got ridiculously rapid players in the back three, and also Helena Rowland, and a fantastic 9-10 combination. Get the ball to the backs. That's what I want to see. That's what we all want to see. So yeah, that's how they get back into it for me.
You're a true word from a scrum half. Stop hogging the ball forwards. There's Shauna Brown. 2 tries already in the game as Loughborough come back out onto the field. I think 19 points to 5 doesn't do that first half justice. It was nip and tuck, it really was. But I guess those opportunities were taken by Harlequins when they presented themselves.
Yeah, they really were, and a great individual effort by Shauna Brown to get them on that side of the scoreboard before half-time. For me, though, I thought that Loughborough were a little bit hard done by. It seemed like the clock had gone red, and normally you wouldn't reset a scrum if the clock's red, so I don't know how the free kick laws work with that, but that would definitely be something I'd be asking as a captain.
Ready, Loughborough? Stay long, girls, let's go. Time on.
Second half underway then at Loughborough University. Gia Bradley, been at the club since its inception. Training solicitor in that shirt, often occupied by Sarah Hunter. Player coach, of course. Well, just flicks it back inside. Emily Scott playing the Lionel Messi role.
Well done. Move now,
Helen Nelson gets back to tidy things up. Just had to rush the dustpan and brush out then.
Tackle.
And Helen Nelson.
Hold.
Emily Scott again looking so lively, isn't she?
Move.
Just first to everything at the moment for me.
5's okay.
Was involved against Italy. Katie David-McLean obviously started. Ellie Kildunn at fullback. Of course, she can play 10 and 15, can't she? Emily Scott, and then Zoe Harrison and Helena Rowland were on the bench. So perhaps she's just trying to make a little bit of a point.
Quite possibly. She's making it for me as well. In that 10 shirt, she's looking really comfortable, really leading from the front. And just doing the simple well. What she's doing is bringing everyone else into the game, which is why she's playing such good rugby for me.
Svoboda is on. Canadian international, Sarah Svoboda.
20, not on the ball.
Conkle is stopped in her tracks there. Beckett.
No, 20.
She's come on at open sight. Tawima. No, she's got that handling ability. Cow was there. Riley. Through Fletcher.
Not now.
Formerly of Richmond.
Contest.
But such a consistent player in this league. Lovely hands from Conkle.
No, 7.
Of course, she set up that try, didn't she, for Scotland, for Helen Nelson to get the conversion to make it 13-all against France.
Advantage. Number 5 offside.
Yeah, she's playing lovely rugby at the minute as well.
Mark John.
Slid through from Leanne Ryan. I think she knew that the penalty was coming.
Number 5 offside. Thanks, John. Use the line.
It's Courtney Holtcap who is offside there. Yes, Amelia Harp who's made way. No, it's not. She's down there on the field, receiving some attention.
Going too early. Then it took back. Okay. Thank you.
It's Amelia Harper who's getting some attention. What will Harlequins do here? Emily Scott in there. Some real leadership.
They're not doing anything else but sticking this into the corner and driving from how the other 3 tries have been scored, in my opinion.
Here's the new player, Sarah Subova. So just been spoken to by the referee.
It's a lovely explanation as well, isn't it? Quite often we see those back row players pushing the limits in terms of holding their body weight and also using the player on the ground to support them a little bit. I did think that she was a little bit hard done by. It looked like she was on her feet, but great explanation from Mr. Wood. He's having a strong game. I might get him later in the season, you see.
Oak-like. You have done that. Wood.
Wasted on me.
Tough crowd. But your crystal ball's working well. They're going into the corner through Emily Scott. I've worked out it's Anya Richmond who's gone off for Loughborough in the second row.
Loughborough line. Quins, numbers early, please. 6, thank you.
Svoboda on the field then, the Canadian international joining her fellow international, Courtney Holtcat. Ward takes the line out. It's tried, it's tested for Harlequins, for England. Cocaine to Ward and then a crabbing field again. Meter short, up and over now. And there it is, Harlequins with the bonus point score. You can put your mortgage on it, can't you, really?
I think that's Fee Fletcher coming up with the ball on that one. But it's great patience, isn't it, from this Harlequins pack. Loughborough defending it so well for the first 10 seconds, and they just wait and wait and wait for that breaking point, and as soon as it comes they know exactly where they're going. They sheer off in the right direction with at least one other player.
It's there with Cocaine now, and then
Fletcher's wrestling it off her.
yeah, right at the back there, eagle-eyed Mo Hunt. Annie Tuima is taking up kicking responsibilities. Just a little sandwich wedge, just a little light chip from Annie Tuima. Adds the 2 points as well.
Again, another effortless kick we're seeing. We're being treated to them today. Just a lovely little nudge. Here we see again Loughborough really good initially, driving them backwards. I thought that Harper was on the ball initially, but just great patience, isn't it? Good body height, great patience, and fantastic decision making when to break.
Yeah, I mean, everything about it from a Harlequins point of view. Technically, the body positions, here the try scorer for Fletcher, the communication clearly to pull that ball back to the right person, and then, as you say, to either drive through the middle, as we saw Jay Conkle do in that first half, or to splinter off. It really is exceptional work from Harlequins. There's some exceptional players, you would expect it, but it's virtually every single time. And in the men's game, of course, Exeter are lauded for their work in the 22, and it's Harlequins women that's sort of moving into that sort of stratosphere that every time they're in the 22, they are coming away with at least 5.
They are, and it's just difficult, isn't it? How do you stop it? Because Loughborough's initial setup has been fantastic, but the patience and the timing of when to go, brilliant from Harlequins.
As you say, initially Loughborough superb, just got the body heights up a little bit more as Harlequins use that, as you say, that patience. But again, defensive work being done here. Again,
by Loughborough. Amelia Harper looks to try and get that
Seven
ball.
release first.
Great work from the young open side. And Emily Scass is right, let's get on with this. Gets her hands on the ball. It's weird, isn't it, with no crowd?
Yeah, it's horrible.
You expected people to cheer. Nope.
It's been a bit of a standing joke in the opening rounds that the only cheers coming in are for when there's a scrum, which you wouldn't expect.
On the way now. Warris. Brilliant break from the scrum half. Amelia Harper who set this all up.
Ball's available.
With the turnover ball.
Use! Thank you. No.
Told to use it now, Loughborough. Now this is the time when they've got to be patient. They've got to use the ball, and just as I said, Effie Fletcher, it's not just about scoring tries, but turning that ball over as well. And there's the difference. I know it's different facets of the game. That's a ruck and that's a line-out, but Harlequins looking after that ball. Loughborough just struggling to do so.
Yeah, they just need a bit of patience there. Brilliant initial break by Wirus.
You got a knock on.
Really taking the line on, gone straight through. And for me, that breakdown just needs to be slowed down. Too quick to pass it out to Amelia Harper. I'm not sure who threw the ball because obviously the nine's on the floor in the breakdown, but you're passing 5 metres backwards when you want to be going towards the try line. Just slow that down. That doesn't need to be a quick play when the Harlequins defence is set on the line ready to come at you.
Move, tackler.
Olivia Jones with that knock on, so Harlequins with a free kick, and they go down that short side through Sarah Beckett.
8, do better please.
Makes 4 metres every time she carries the ball. Brilliant.
Oh, she was absolutely exceptional in that game against Exeter before England duty.
Release.
Good in Palmer as well, wasn't she?
Leave it, Quins.
Loughborough. Big old clear out of the ruck, and then is Lark Davies trundling on, grabbing another couple of metres. Rowland, Scarrett floats one over the top. This time Jones does take it, tries to put on a little bit of footwork.
No, let go. Thank you. Stay.
Emily Scott is up to that challenge. Holtkamp, the most sympathetic pass to Rowland.
Good contest. Hold.
Harper.
Okay, nothing coming.
Harlequins knocked that one on. Free kick to Loughborough with the law variations.
This is the liveliest I think I've ever seen Emily Scarrett play in the last couple of years. You can see her floating around the back, really trying to G up her team, trying to call the plays to come out the back. Saw her just now have a little eyes up on Rona Lloyd, see if she can get a crossfield kick in, so I'll be interested to see whether that comes.
Yeah, they're not done here, Loughborough. You get that feeling. And here's Rona Lloyd. It's being picked out again.
Tackle!
Being held up in the tackle just momentarily by Rolly. Harper, Nelson, just floating one into midfield, and it ends up in the arms of the inaugural Six Nations Player of the tournament, Emily Scarrett, World Player of the Year. General all-round good egg.
Sorry, I went wrong way.
Harlequins get the penalty. Simon Middleton was saying at half-time, if you are a split second late at that ruck situation, you are going to get the ball turned over or a penalty. We've seen 3 or 4 in the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, obviously you're not allowed to roll on the floor. This year they've really stamped that out, so there's no floor work, which just allows you to get on that ball a little bit quicker. There's nothing to deter your eyes, basically. So as soon as you hit the floor, you've got to get somebody there, otherwise defensively you've got the upper hand, and both teams are doing that so well at the minute.
I mean, I would say as a rugby fan, that's good. That makes the game quicker. What, as a player?
I like it, as long as it's ref consistently. I absolutely love it, especially because I like to play a quick game, get the ball back. I don't really want to ruck, I want the ball back far enough that I can just have the ball in my hands. We see another line-out go away.
It is ding-dong battle, isn't it? Ward's had the ball taken off of there by Holtkamp. She won't be happy about Holtkamp, who made her debut against England 2017. Jess Breachers had to come out of the line. Just give her some space for Abby Brown.
Tackle him after this, please.
And the Harlequins defenders folded round behind where Jess Breach would have been.
Behind the last player.
Ball back with Harlequins.
Coaches won't mind that though, because she's recovered and made that tackle, so great pressure initially and a good recovery tackle.
Leanne Riley showing some footwork as well, and then I often say it, but Fee Fletcher I think is a fabulous rugby player. Cornborough, what hands from Vicky Cornborough. She's getting better and better with age as well. Very good with ball in hand. Here's Beckett, just a straight line and then cuts back inside as well. That footwork just before the contact, so important. Burfoot gets through the first one. Cow is there, Ronan Lloyd thinks she's going to set off, but those eyes from Rachel Burfoot to Nick Wood to say to the referee, no, there was a hand in there. I've had those eyes a few times across a podcast studio.
Yeah, you just see it here, lovely dummy, good fend, ball transfer.
It's Bradley, isn't it? Gets an arm in there, unintentional.
So subtle, I didn't even notice it. But here we go again, Harlequins doing what they do best. See if Loughborough can stick in this defensive drive now.
Will we have the same result? Amy Kane gets the call from Vicky Cornborough. Oh, he's got to Fee Fletcher this time, not to Ward. Initial drive, as it has been, Loughborough. Very good. They're going to go around that right-hand side to try and defend there. Amy Kane with it, and it's just going forward and forward. Leanne Riley's in there now. Amy Kane. Another driving line out, another try for the Harlequins juggernaut pack.
Another brilliant finish. Do you know what? The rugby player in me wants them to kick it to corner, come off the top, fly it out and play through your backs. But if it ain't broke, don't fix it, as they say. And just again, the body positions, the patience, everything about it is just brilliant. You can see from this side angle as well that the body angles of all of the Harlequins players in comparison to the Loughborough players coming in, they're in at the side, they're high, they're standing up, and you just see that onslaught coming through. Leanne Riley will claim an assist on that one as well, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, latching on, it all helps, doesn't it?
It does. Again, like brilliant timing from Amy Kane, when to shear off. Leanne Riley's seen it, there's nobody else there, she's just adding a bit of protection, a bit of weight. Smart play.
It is, isn't it? When you know it's a strength, when you've got pretty much an all-international pack as Annie Tuima. It's a nice conversion as well. Doesn't look phased in the slightest, does she?
No, not at all. You can see here, look at the body angles of the Loughborough players, just really upright. They've got to work in unison if they're going to stop this onslaught. They've got to be down, almost scrum position, driving back through. Everyone in the same direction. It's turning into a long day at the office for them, sorry.
No, indeed. You would think that they would have... Rhys Edwards, he's a very smart cookie, very shrewd coach, would have been working on that this week. But they just can't do... You know it's coming. It's a little bit like with the Red Roses, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But sometimes if you haven't got the strike power up front, you're seeing an almost all international pack from Harlequins. It is so hard to stop that.
And that unity, that cohesion that you get when they're not only in the quarters or the lime green, are we calling this today? Lime green and grey. But also international shirts. Yeah, they're doing it week in, week out. throughout the entire season, and for many years now, the likes of Cocaine and Ward, those combinations.
Well, thank you.
Right.
Tackle move.
To Shauna Brown, this is becoming more and more impressive away from home at one of the teams you expect to be there come the playoffs. Everything crossed, hopefully we get there.
Leave it.
Holtkamp takes the ball.
5 on the feet.
Sarah Beckett taking that ball into contact. Had her on the women's rugby pod last week. What a talented young lady. Sings, plays the guitar. From a rugby family, but very softly spoken. But she's anything but softly spoken when she gets on the field. She's a beast.
She speaks so eloquently. Sorry, I can't even say that word. Eloquently, doesn't she? But what a fantastic player. She's having a really strong game. She's been brilliant this season, both for England, also for Harlequins. Standout player every time she takes the field. She's making ground as well. Every time she carries the ball, 4 or 5 metres, 2-3 people to stop her. Brilliant.
Jess Weaver comes on wearing 21. And also Lizzie Golden. Flash, as she's known.
It's been a long time coming, her to get her first game for Loughborough.
Bradley takes that loose ball from the line out. That's loose from Harlequins. Malcolm, Loughborough captain, Scotland captain. Scarrett trying to throw one through the legs. She knew the penalty was coming.
She just wanted someone else to talk about her. She wanted another highlight reel, that's what that was about. Now she's caught the ball static, really good decision, just trying to get the play moving forward. Through the legs, so skillful. Silky scars.
Just in case the viewers don't know, Emily Scarrett and Mo Hunt are very, very good friends, so she's not being catty.
She's not.
This time. She's got plenty for her highlights reel, hasn't she, Emily Scarrett?
Just so disappointing for Loughborough, isn't it? You get yourself, work so hard to get yourself into this position again. And just Harlequins managed to turn it over.
But every facet, that breakdown area, hugely contested. The line-out is being hugely contested as well. 2 really, really good line-outs, not had it their own way all day. Rona Lloyd flicks it inside to Goulden. Abby Brown's moved over to the right wing. Rolly. Now this is the kind of broken field which she loves, and look at the fend.
I think that's frustration for having your hands on the ball just once this game, but look at that. Get the ball to her more often, please, Harlequins.
My goodness. Jess Weaver may well be feeling that one for a while. Yeah, it's Ella Wyris who's made way, and Olivia Jones. So we're all up to date. Scott, they got numbers here. Conkle. Tackle by Rona Lloyd. 2 Scotland internationals. She may have hurt herself or just winded herself in that challenge. Bertha Tuima. Just about to say, some great hands out there. Nelson. Oh, she's picked up that loose ball, and Tuima gave that loose pass. Is happy to get back and make amends for it. Advantage coming to Loughborough. Weaver goes down that short side. Is there something there for Lightning? Scarrett, crossfield, meant for Rona Lloyd. We know she's got so much pace. Has she got there? No, says the referee Nick Wood.
I'd love to see her just shoulder barge Cowell off the ball there. Really good use of the laws by Cowell. She's just got in front, shoulder barging her across, but I think Rona could have given her a little nudge.
I'm absolutely with you.
It's a pen. It's a pen.
Why did you sound surprised?
You're right, I shouldn't have sounded surprised. But I'm with you, wholeheartedly.
7 Loughborough.
We've just glossed over it as well, but what a pick-up by Helena Rowland on the move. Just scooped it up off the floor, accelerated away, and the Harlequins' defence were equal to it, managed to chop her down. Otherwise that could have been the start of the comeback.
On the line, please.
Yeah, wonderful pick-up. Helen Nelson was in and around there as well. Bridie Fielders has come on, just 20 years of age, England under 20 player.
Time on.
Tanya Harper's has made way. Grimacing down here on the bench. She is one for the future, though, of course. Just 20 years of age. That debut against France. What a place to make your debut out there. Beginning of the Six Nations. She came on as a sub for England's game against Ireland as well.
20 minutes. Break.
It's 19-5 at half-time, Mo Hunt.
Sorry?
Now 33-5. Doesn't feel like that kind of game either, because that's an impressive score away from home at one of the perceived top 4 sides.
Yeah, absolutely, and one that I actually need to swallow my words now because I was back in pre-match. But Harlequins have just shown their class, haven't they? They've worked out early doors that they can kick to the corner, they can break down this Moor defence from Loughborough and keep ball and score tries from that, and that's what they've done all game long. I think that try from Shauna Brown just before half-time as well was massive, because you go in at half-time 12-5 with Loughborough having a lot of possession, a lot of territory, knowing that they're in the right areas of the field, they just need to hold on to the ball and be patient. That's a very different mindset from going in 19-5 down when you've had all of that possession and territory.
Well, they call them the championship moments, don't they? Those 5 minutes before and after half-time. Those are the times to score, just as you're going into half-time, just you're coming out of half-time. But I think you do see here, I mean, we're looking at pictures of the Harlequin squad. You've got Emily Scott talking. You've got, I was going to say Abby Scott. You've got Abby Ward talking. You've got Rachel Burford talking. All international players, some real leadership there. You look to Loughborough, yes, of course, you've got Emily Scarrett, Rachel Malcolm, but just in and around that much younger players, I'd say. And we know that about Loughborough. It's a young squad. They're building their strength and depth all of the time. They'll be there or thereabouts coming into the season, I'm sure of it. There's more to come from this side. We said with Sydney this week, hardly really got out of second gear. When you go down to Bristol, a place we haven't won for a couple of years, and pick up the W, it's impressive stuff in second gear. Been out muscle though today, so far. 13 minutes left in this game. Brown.
Tackle and move, let her move. Well done, Ted, thank you. Well done, Stay.
Abby Brown, of course, come from the Sevens programme, as has Helena Rowland there, number 10. Goes into the mix for England 15s. It's a good tackle from Burford, and then Malcolm and Conkle takes her.
Too long.
To know each other so well, playing in the Navy of Scotland. In the back row, Rona Lloyd, another one who plays for Scotland. Lovely step from Rona Lloyd. She is back, and she is back with a bang.
That is a lovely finish by Rona Lloyd. Absolutely stood her up in a post box. Scotland teammate. Have some of that.
So needed that. She is such a deadly finisher. Think it was Emily Scarrett gave the pass. Just knew. And it's Rowland again, wasn't it? That scanning, floats it over the top.
Just lovely, isn't it? It's a lovely weighted pass. It's great timing on the pass, and what a finish. Just slows down. And that step is fantastic.
2 points are added as well by the lady who will go down as the assist. Came from the line out. Break from the scrum half, wasn't it? Weaver who's just come on.
Good contest. Not now, let go, let go. You roll. You're okay. Roll away. Good timing, Letha. No, Loughborough, let go. Advantage. You're okay, you need to let her move. Roll away, number 1. Okay, 17 can help you, let you move.
Gremlins in the lines.
On the edge of the line.
Sophie missed.
Yeah.
Mo Hunt's wonderful.
Rachel, your own players can help themselves out there.
Incisive words for a moment or two.
Okay,
Superb analysis from the Gloucester Hartbury captain. Harlequins back in the 22, back with the line out. Is your heart sinking at this point?
It's a 6, you're 7 at the moment.
If you're Loughborough, quite possibly.
Yep. They'll go from that kind of distance as well.
More.
What a throw. And they've gone up at the front, Loughborough. Beautifully weighted throw from Amy Cockayne. She's so good at those details of the game.
Say more.
And here she is. She wants another one. She's going to get another one. No, truck and trailer, says the referee. Amy Cockayne wants to have a word with referee Nick Wood. Now, truck and trailer, or as Tony Spedbury used to say, horse and cart. Good old spreaders. For those who don't know.
Yeah, so what's happened is, as that Moore's peeled away, they've peeled us 2 players, and instead of Amy just, if you break from the Moore, you have to break with the ball in hand. You can't break with somebody else in front of you stopping that tackle coming in, which is what's happened here. They've done it so well before. Obviously, we saw the previous try where Amy Cockayne's broke and Leanne Ryler's behind her, driving her through that contact, and that's absolutely fine, but you can't have somebody in front of you breaking like that. A let off for Loughborough.
Hand in there from Leanne Riley.
That could be a penalty, could it? One hand swinging at the ball in this pressure situation. Anyway, they've taken it quickly.
Free kick either way. And Emily Scout, as you say, she's got a bit between her teeth and she's not overly happy with how this game is going at the moment. There's more people on Lightning Hill on the far side.
No, she's not clearly in front. You can have the knock on. She's not clearly in
Tim
front.
Hammond here. There's university students watching the game here. Well outside the stadium, but looking on, watching a bit of live sport. Free kick to Loughborough. Scarrett. Rowland floats one over again. Goulden.
Forward pass.
It's forward.
Just relax, just relax.
Just a little bit of intensity now, isn't there, about this Loughborough side. You heard it on the ref mic after Rona Lloyd scored the try. Helena Rowland screaming at her to get the ball back. And then just to take the sting out of them, Harlequins walked as slowly as they could back to take the kick-off after that try. But you can see that they really are chasing this game now.
Tacklers move, don't play it, Loughborough. Well done.
Travaga, the loose head. And Scott continues to have a really good day at the office. Full penalty now for Harlequins. I just think there's more calmness in the ranks of Harlequins. We spoke about those kind of leaders, those seasoned players. Here's Goulden.
No, you're on the floor.
Over 200 points for Wasps. Golden Boot a few years ago. Holtcap's added some physicality, hasn't she?
Not on the ball, 3,
no
thank
nonsense player. Part of a young crop of Canadian players who made their debuts in 2017 when the Canadian came over in that whitewash tour. Oh, Roland.
Hold, 10, 20, stop!
She just has all the time in the world, doesn't she?
Is that not the mark of a good player?
I think so.
Time off.
Overly happy with his sort of trailing leg that was slightly coming through.
I haven't got it yet. Okay, we'll just hold the line.
Just see all of Amy Cocaine's class. She just walk into the line out, taking her time.
5 man. 5. Okay.
Alex Eddy's on. Great to see her back on the field, not played since 2018. The lady who's a captain of Royal Artillery. Nice weekend to see her back then as well. Tuima floats one out. Not got enough legs on it.
No, your own player slipped to her first.
Jade Conklin who makes way.
Release first!
Harlequins back row.
Ball's there, she's stuck, ball's there, leave it. First one, okay, off pink. Second one off good, just a knock on.
Just feel at times, Loughborough, when they have the ball, there's just racing a bit too much. Just put your foot on the ball for a moment, take your time. And that's when, as you say, Amy Cocaine is walking around to that line out, taking the sting out of Loughborough. And Shauna Brown is rumbling on again.
What a game she's had. What a few weeks she's had.
Brilliant. Riding a coral in the Sunday Times now.
BBC.
BBC, sorry, yeah, indeed, you're absolutely right. Yeah, she's up for an award. Influence Award for the Sunday Times Sports Woman of the Year Awards. Being a column for the BBC, she's been so evident. Big part of what Harlequins in this league have done in and around the Black Lives Matter movement. Here's Eddie. Oh, and she's won a Grand Slam as well. Probably just pop that in there.
Release!
Scott Cocaine. Impressed by this Harlequins pack. They can do their scrummaging, they can do their line-outs, but the hands are soft and they're pathetic. The running lines are excellent as well.
Stay there.
We do some work on the breakdown this week, but
backwards.
Yeah, some of the subtleties in the passing, especially from two props, Cornborough and Shauna Brown, have been brilliant for me.
Roland off the left.
I was just about to say, did she just kick that left-footed?
Yep. She's right-footed, isn't she?
She is a right footer, yeah. She is a right footer. I just love it. I actually love it. The confidence that she has to just come out here, 33-12 down, needs to clear her lines. You know what? I'm just going to pop it onto my left foot and send it up towards the 10-metre line. Brilliant.
There is a big smile on Simon Middleton's face seeing that. That Helen Roland has the application and the skill set to do that. She may have a left foot as well as a right.
If you want to see something fun, I've actually been practicing my left-footed box kicks as well, so that's probably something that you're starting to see.
Down, ladies.
No, he's not listening. He's not listening.
Back to his Candy Crush. Another water break here. Powerful. At all the big moments, they've gone the way of the lime green and grey today, haven't they?
Yeah, they really have. They've controlled this game so well. Talked about her a few times, but Emily Scott has played really well. We haven't seen as much kicking as I probably would have anticipated from this Harlequins side. I would have expected to see them put boot to ball a lot more, but what they have done is ran the ball back with interest every single time.
2, 8 and 12 Loughborough. 2, 8 and 12 Loughborough.
On your front row for Harlequins then. Corbett, Cocaine and Brown off. Blore,
Okay, Loughborough, hold there,
and
thank you.
Edwards
Hang on, time's still off. Just hold the throw. Time on.
Davina Catlin at the moment, expecting a little bubba. Wish her all the best with that. Still down at training this week though.
They won the
Royal
ball, though.
Harlequins player through and through. Alice Sheffield on as well.
Good contest, and that own lift has jumped.
Tackle from Eddie.
Need a clear pull.
Rowland, Scarrett. What a pass that is to Abby Brown. There's a lot of space for the England Sevens captain. Chips it into the arms of Emily Scott.
Again, just in the right place, isn't she, Emily Scott?
Tackle!
Really brave.
Stay down.
Coming out and talking about some of the personal challenges she has as well with arthritis. Here's Abby Brown again. Cutting back inside. Weaver. Scarrett outside her. Scarrett will not be stopped from there. With that familiar stride. Good score from Loughborough. But if we're honest, too little, too late.
Yeah, we've seen Scarrett bring on those wingers nicely, haven't we, with those flat balls all game. And good little interplay there. Brown to Weaver to Scarrett. Good finish. Chasing that bonus point try now.
Time's off. Time's off, Loughborough.
Here's again that Abby Brown cutting back inside. He just momentarily stopping Riley, so she definitely is committed to a Weaver. Nice little interplay, and then Emily Scout, who, as you say, in the second half has not been happy, me buzzing around, trying to get Loughborough back into the groove, as it were.
And again, you see Harlequins.
They're taking their time, though.
Just taking their time, just frustrating this Loughborough outfit. They know that they're chasing a bonus point try. That's all they can get from this game now, really.
Stay there, Quins.
Here's try number 3. And when you're playing those people in and around you, you don't want them to have any points. You want to take maximum points off them. That's a lovely kick from Emily Scarrett.
Tackle release.
It's an option they've used plenty of times in this second half, is that crossfield kick. Scarrett more and more involved, and funnily enough, Loughborough's play is going up and up and up. Harper again, look at the hands of this tight head. The strength as well. Fletcher trying to wrap her up, Edwards there trying to wrap her up as well. Scarrett again. Ball knocked
Come back
on.
to the first one, forward pass.
Heavy collision, that one.
Time off.
Forward pass, says the referee.
Free kick for a forward pass.
Just got the bit between their teeth. Is that Harlequins letting off? Is that Loughborough just putting their foot to the
just a free kick, pass
the metal a little bit more?
What you're seeing is Loughborough trying to go out the back a bit more. They're using their forwards to hold the ball up and then passing it out to the 10s, 12s, 13s who are getting the wingers on the ball. We knew the space was out there, we spoke about it pre-match, but they're only just managing to get the ball there, whether they're kicking it there or those flat long balls.
A chance then, a chance to score a fourth try, to get something from this game. Rowland fizzes one out again for Abby Brown. Very evident in the last few minutes. Oh, it's Emily Scarrett with a step on the bend, and there is the fourth try. It may only be a bonus point, but cometh the hour, cometh the hero. Whether club or country, Emily Scarrett delivers.
Just under one on mine.
Fourth try for Loughborough, and they do have the try bonus point.
Again, it's just that flat pass out to the width. And I always say, sometimes Emily Scarrett, just has this ability to turn it on. Like, she knows that something needs to be done, She did it in the 2014 World Cup. She just puts her head down, runs through no matter who's there. We used to play with the Lichfield together and she used to do it there as well. She just has this ability to just turn it on, like nobody's going to stop me now. And that's exactly what she's done.
Super Series a couple of summers ago, exactly the same against France.
You see it in her face. Like I know, it sounds really stupid. But
No, I know exactly what you mean.
See it when she just changes and her face changes, and you just know that nothing's stopping her in that moment. Great interplay, wasn't it, though?
Really was.
Let's go on,
Just
10,
about gone 10 metres, Lanny. Tuna can't take it. And she's in two minds whether she could take it, but it was over the 10. Another chance here. 11 points down. We're going to come back from this one. Golden to Rowland. She's made a bit of an impression. Golden and Helena Rowland with some feet. She has got the full set, and she Helena Rowland, of tricks. Rolly. Haven't seen too much of her. It's broken field. This is where she loves playing. Knocked on from Harlequins. Thought that was going to be the final whistle. No, says the referee, we've got time for some more play, and if it's like this, then play on. Happy days.
Yeah, let's play the 80. Harper's carried well, hasn't she, today?
Come more and more to this game as it's gone on. Scarrett, now there's numbers again here. Pass just dropped. Rowland taking the ground.
Burford just got her back for that little ankle breaker, didn't she?
Yep. She meant that, didn't she? Burford. May have injured herself in the process, though. Still yapping away at the troops, though. She's such a leader. Rolly is having to go back. Abby Brown is there. Heart in the mouth time for the Harlequins fullback. So much going on in this game. So much quality, so many tries. Has that ball gone dead? As Harlequins kick it out, and there's the maximum 5 points for Harlequins. 4 games, 20 points in the bag, but it has been a tough afternoon. And Loughborough played their part, especially at the back end of this game. Played some really good rugby, but the final score is Loughborough Lightning 22, Harlequins 33. Natasha Hunt, time for your player of the match.
I think that there's been a lot of really strong performances. Have to mention Emily Scott. I thought she's controlled the game really well. But for me, player of the match has to go to Shauna Brown. That involvement just before half-time to get that try, I think that was for me the biggest turning point of the whole match. Some of the subtlety in her passing, her ball carries have been fantastic. It had to go to a forward. The way that they've played, the way that they've handled themselves around the pitch, the tries that they've scored. And she's head and shoulders for me above them. Brilliant game by her.
2 tries in that first half for Shauna Brown. Amy Cockayne with a try in that first 35 as well. And then it was Fletcher and Amy Cockayne adding in our second half. But it's Loughborough. Rona Lloyd's got an excellent try in that first half. Second one in the second period. And Emily Scout with a brace as well. A little bit too late though from Loughborough, and Harlequins just showed, as they so often do, their real power. And up front they are a real force to be reckoned with, but we know that. We know what's coming, but it's very difficult to stop it at times. Well, I'm going to leave you now and go and grab Shauna Brown to have her words. Over to you.
Thanks, Johnny. Let's have a little look at the highlights then. Just brilliant play, isn't it, from Harlequins. Fantastic break by Jade Concourt. And there she is, our player of the match. Just get hands on the ball, dives over, doesn't wait for anyone else, doesn't need any more support, and a fantastic finish. Great initial carry by Concourt. She was fantastic today as well. again, another try. We're going to see this quite a lot in these try lights. This is why Harlequins have managed to win this match so convincingly, but brilliant control, great initial setup, and a fantastic finish by Amy Cockayne. See Leanne Riley at the back directing the troops. And then this is when we thought Loughborough might have been back into it. Great step, great acceleration, great awareness from Helena Rowland. And nobody's stopping Rona Lloyd from 5 out with that much space. Just as the Harlequins defence lines up. Flies out the line, Helena Rowland takes that gap, brilliant bit of play. And here we see this, for me, was the biggest turning point of the game. Shauna Brown just sees nobody in behind. Caught most of her teammates off guard as well, other than Fee Fletcher. She knows exactly where she's going. Look at that, Shauna Brown in full flight, absolutely love it. Here we go, another really well drilled line out. You can see Abby Ward bossing the troops in there. Amy Cockayne trying to get hands on the ball. As she does, just drops her body height. This Harlequins pack all working together unselfishly. Passes the ball back to Fee Fletcher as she's over the line. And a good finish. Here we see it again. Here we see it again, just body height, body angles, timing of when to shear off. And you see all 4 Harlequin forwards come together. Another driving maul. Amy Cockayne again on this one. You see Leanne Riley just guiding the troops, knows that she wants to add a little bit of weight. Drops body height and just gives Amy that shove to get over the line. Another try for Cockayne. Loughborough just didn't have an answer to this all game. Here we go, another bit of flair. The Helena Rowland, Rona Lloyd combo. What a step that is. Absolutely brilliant, flying down the wing, slows down, explodes away. Off her right foot, fantastic finish. Love to see it. Scotland teammate on Scotland teammate. Absolutely done her in 5 metres. Brilliant finish, Rona Lloyd. That was the start of some more Loughborough tries. A lovely pass by Abby Brown into Jess Weaver, and then link play, Emily Scarrett just there, striding into the corner. Gordon made a really good impact when she came onto the pitch. Great timing of the pass to Jess Weaver, and again, great timing of the pass to Emily Scarrett. Final try of the match, again through the forwards' hands into Helena Rowland's hands. Brilliant flat pass to Abby Brown. Link play on the inside, and Emily Scarrett knows what her team needs. She knows that they need another try to get that bonus point, extra point in the bag. Emily Scott just couldn't get across in time. Brilliant finish. Lovely score. and I think we've got Johnny Hammond is down with our player of the match, Shauna Brown, on pitch side.
Thank you very much, Mo. Here with Shauna Brown. Shauna, the scoreline 33-24. Looks like it was a reasonably easy win for Harlequins.
Easy is definitely not the word I would use. We had a great start, and we, as a team, we've had trouble with our starts in the first half and how we come out and our attitude from the warm-up into the game. So we have struggled with that. But this game, we came out firing, both attack and D, and it was something big to take into the second half, again, which we did. But it's just that a team like Loughborough, you give them half an inch and they'll take a mile, and they certainly did. And yeah, it's horrible to watch.
How much of a statement is this, Shauna, against a team who, you're in and around that top four last couple of seasons, you expect them to be thereabouts come the end of the season? How much of a statement is it to come up here, beautiful day, they've got a few players back and their scouts and all the rest of it back, to put them away? How much of a statement is it for the league?
For us, it's huge, and again, it's the style in which we've done it. Obviously, something to work on to take into for next week for the girls and thereon. But it's a huge statement, like you say, to finish against a team like Loughborough, and not only, I know it's close in terms of numbers, but to put a decent amount of points past them as well. So it's good for the game. It's a good game. It's a good showcase of women's rugby, and this is what we want from the game. This is what we want moving forward. This is what we want for the future of the game.
When you're driving those line-outs, is it an absolute catfight in the middle of that to see who gets the ball to get the try?
I mean, I've got no idea what goes on. I just bend over, put my head in really low and just hold on tight and drive. Honestly, I'm like, I have to look to see who's clapping when something's happened to see whether we've scored or whether they've sort of got a penalty out of it. So I'm as oblivious as you.
Well, you do yourself a disservice, because the try you scored in the end of that first half, right through the middle of the ruck, you do it for England, you do it for Harlequins. Yeah. You're delighted to get back on the score sheet. You like scoring a try or two, don't you?
I do. It's not my job, but I do like it. It's always nice to have a little bit of extras. It's like propping is obviously, scrummaging is number one, then ball carrying, and then you're looking at your Jacqueline and everything else, but there's nothing wrong with a cheeky try, and especially when it is cheeky.
It was a little bit cheeky. If we're looking on the flip side, we get the microscope out, what areas can Harlequins improve on? Because across the board, it's a fairly decent performance, that.
Yeah, it will just be longevity, so how we started this game to keep going. And even if, sometimes naturally you do let off as the time goes by and you get tired, but then it's letting off tactically and giving them space in the right places. But even the fact that they had to score around the edges, that's still a huge part from us. And for us as forwards and us as a team, it's basically we don't want anything to go through the middle. So the fact that they've had to go right on the edge to scores, that's still a credit to us. But happy days to Loughborough, they had a great time out there eventually as well.
Shauna, how much are you enjoying life at the moment? We've got columns on the BBC, we're up for Influencer Awards, we're back to Background Sandwich, you've come on the Women's Rugby Pod, you're now winning up here at Loughborough. I mean, life doesn't get much better, does it?
I mean, yeah, being on the Women's Rugby Pod is probably the highlight of all of the above. But it has to get better, otherwise what am I going to do for the rest of my life? So I'll be looking for something better to do and keep going. But yeah, it's all because of rugby. It's I wouldn't say it's changed my life around. I was a good person before, but it's nice to get the recognition and the eyes and the spotlight on the game, and as much as I do, and as the good for me as a person. But ultimately it's about the game, growing the women's game, and just making rugby accessible to everyone. And as much spotlight as I can put on through other things that aren't rugby, it means when people look at me, it's actually, what else does she do? Well, she's actually here because she plays rugby. Oh, let's have a look at rugby as well. But yeah, it's all about the wider game.
Well, yeah, outstanding form. I seem to remember you being player of the match in this fixture last year as well, away at Loughborough. We are the player of the match again today. Chosen by Mo Hunt. Many congratulations to you and your team. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, there we are. That's Shauna Brown, player of the match, as Harlequins beat one of their nearest and dearest right at the top of the Allianz Premier 15s table. It finished here at Loughborough University. Harlequins 33, Loughborough Lightning 24. Very, very good evening to you all. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Out towards Chloe Rolly. Wonderful step from the Scotland international. Gliding away, running away, sprinting away, stunning score!
Lewis on the wraparound. This might work out for Thompson. They're going to put a little bit more on it, and then they're over.
Large on the ball, lovely flighted pass. Tatiana Hurd with a straight line, streaking towards the try line in the opening minute. She spills away, dives over the line. Wonderful fry from Tatiana Hurd.
Megan Goddard puts the afterburners on. Shannon Harris, 2-on-1 is Lydia Thompson. Oh no, you're not going to catch Lydia Thompson from there. Scott, oh, it's intercepted by Emily Scarrett. They won't catch Emily Scarrett from there. The long legs just eating up the ground. Oh, Chloe Rowley's making her way back, but she won't catch her. Emily Scarrett has been on fire.
Carson again, she's having an absolute stormer of a second half. The Canadian international still going, gets the offload out. Lottie Clark bursts away from the tackles, gives it off. Carson again, looks on the outside, Packer for the hat-trick. What a score from Saracens. What a comeback.
Someone ride with me. Oh my girls with me. Ride with me.
Turnover by Malloy. And McDonald sets off. Claudia McDonald. Mack is back and in fine style. Oh, it's a fine strike. Marston controlling brilliantly. Now Bristol Pack going forward. It's a penalty try. Oh, now there's a gap. Burgess